somebody that has come alive in spring training and has set himself up to be a phenom and a highly touted 21-year-old prospect. It's Anthony Volpe, who is now going to be the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. So a lot of excitement around that. He's going to be wearing number 11, taking Brett Gardner's number, which was, I believe, just announced today as we record this here, day before opening day tomorrow. But Volpe, there's a lot of expectations around him. Everything I've seen, everything I've read, everything I've heard is that he's a guy that can rise to those expectations. He's kind of been, like I mentioned, highly touted as a big-time prospect. But performing in New York, especially as a young 21-year-old, especially as a guy with the weight of being the starting shortstop for the Yankees, we'll see how he does. I think, all of the intangibles are there. He's shown it so far in spring training. And Ryan, I think if you're a Yankee fan, you have to be excited with Volpe getting the call this early, and the ceiling for this guy is through the roof.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be fun to watch. I think, he's 4 months younger than me, so I don't know. I don't know if I should feel good, if I should feel bad about that. Or,
that's when you start to get to this age, as I'm a senior now, and you get to the point where a lot of these guys are either your age or sometimes even younger. And that's kind of a gut check where you're like, okay, where am I and where are they?
See, for me, that guy was Dominguez. When Dominguez came out and I was in high school and I was like, this guy's younger than
I think Juan Soto was that guy for me, or forget. Juan Soto might be a little older than me. But there's a couple guys I remember. Rafael Devers was a good one with the Red Sox. He, winning a World Series at the age of 8, under 21. I believe he was 20 at the time, and that was just like, oh my goodness, I'm sitting on my couch watching these guys. But Volpe, that's the kind of guy he is. He's been highly touted. He's been praised as the next best thing for the Yankees. I'm curious, both Yankee fans here, what are the expectations for Volpe?
It's tough not to get really excited because you put yourself in the mindset of, I don't think we expected Volpe to have a legitimate shot to be the starting shortstop. At least I didn't. I knew he was going to have a shot to win it out of camp, but in my mind I went, all right, it's probably Peraza, maybe IKF, and all of a sudden he comes out, wins the starting role. You keep seeing him. He keeps hitting, and you go, got to give him the role. He's the guy that's been hitting. For me, I think it's, right, the speeds look good. The defense has looked good. I would love for him to go out and just one dot. That'd be awesome. Those aren't my expectations. I think I would love to get kind of what they got out of Glaber that first rookie year. He's just in the bottom of the lineup, was an all-star, hit, I think, OPS was above 800. Maybe there's going to probably be some struggles. There's going to be some adjustments to the major league level, but kids look good. He homered off of, I think, Aaron Nola or Pablo Lopez. He's been hitting off of these big league guys. It's tough not to get really excited.
Pat Amatura, our producer, is calling him the next Derek Jeter. So
the parallels are there.
It's been said before, so I'm not trying to say it's the hottest take in the world, but that is high praise.
Could have sworn Isaiah Kiner-Fleff was the next Jeter, man. I'll tell you.
The Yankees really haven't had a shortstop like that. It's hard to find someone who's even anywhere close.
Yeah,
to
you
Derek
talk about
Jeter,
IKF last year. It's a night and day, and yeah.
When was the last time you really, as a Yankee fan, allowed yourself to get super excited about the top-notch prospect guy? I think it was Glaber. And even Yankee fans have had that up and down relationship with Glaber. It's I like him. I know there are people that want him gone, and I think he gets overhated at this point, but he was in a tough spot where he came in, he was supposed to be a shortstop, but it turned out he's more of a second baseman. So it's when's the last time the Yankees really had that top prospect guy and the one that panned out? It feels like we talk about these hyped Yankees prospects. A lot of them end up getting traded when it's their value is gone. Talk about Jackson Frazier, right? Miguel Andujar, all these guys that came up, you thought they're the next guy.
And there's a reason why those names aren't looked at as the same level as some of the other names.
I remember when I was Justice Sheffield and Chance Adams are the future of the Yankees rotation. Where are they now?
It's funny. I love hearing that because it's to the non-Yankee fan, people might not even know who they
honestly,
are.
Honestly, I hope that you don't know who Chance Adams is. The fact that I have an intimate relationship with Chance Adams makes me sad.
And that's, but we'll see what Volpe does. I would say my expectations for him are relatively high, but obviously, Lou, I think the parallel to kind of a first-year Glaber is pretty spot on. You don't want to expect too much out of him at this age. The back of my mind, the creeping thought is are they rushing this guy up at all? I know he's had a tremendous spring training, but obviously beating out like IKF last year did not have a great season, and Oswald, not really there either. So I understand the move, but the only concern I have with some younger guys like this is you bring them up and the confidence gets hit when you first start out, if you struggle. And that happens with certain young guys. And, I think about parallels with the Mets, and Francisco Alvarez last year brought him up due to some injuries, really struggled at the big league level, showed he was ready at AAA, and he was ready, but not ready in the major leagues, and that kind of showed itself, and now he's back down in AAA this year. So that can sometimes, impact the mind and the mental side of the game of a player, but we'll only have to wait and see. It's baseball. It's a mental sport. If he can get over that hump of the first month and those early expectations, and he's sitting pretty and putting himself in a good position and still at that starting role, then I could see him really having a solid season for this Yankees team.
He only has 20-something at bats at the AAA level either. Like he's mostly been doing it at high A, double A, and then he got called up at the end of the year last year, got 20-something at bats at AAA, and like now he's here. And again, he looks so good in spring. You hope you give him the keys, and it turns out to be good. I think there's a worst case scenario where the Yankees think Oswald Peraza's ready, and you also have Oswaldo Cabrera who can play anywhere. I think he's also like a worst case, like fill him at shortstop or IKF put him at short. The only reason that Peraza's not on this roster is if you called him up, it'd kind of be a waste. He wouldn't play as much. He wouldn't get the reps at short, so they have him at AAA. But they thought he was ready. They called him up. He started a game at shortstop in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he ended up looking better than IKF down the stretch. So I know Peraza had a tough spring, but I think he's a guy that there's talent there. There's some rumors that they think that he's the future shortstop and that they're going to slide Volpe over to second. And you speculate there's been rumors about they don't love Volpe's arm strength. I know he worked on it, but like there's a chance Peraza ends up being the future shortstop from that position. So I think you have better depth at that position than you've had in a while.